of Sunday, but also into Monday. Rain is going to be present throughout the rest of Sunday. That's why we still have that threat across each of our zones, and looking at some local flooding, which we've got a flood advisory through this later part of the afternoon into the early evening. But with the wind picking up on Monday, we could get some power outages, could damage some Christmas decorations, and we're even getting some snow on our northern slopes. There's a little bit of everything with this particular system. Our heaviest rain is coming through parts of Franklin, through parts of Bedford, and off towards Halifax, Pittsylvania County, into Charlotte and Campbell. Lynchburg staying just a little bit to the north of where the heaviest rain has fallen so far, but some of that rain is likely to make its way further down towards the south as we keep on going into the next couple of hours. Now, most of us are looking at some rather consistent rainfall on the eastern side, but when it comes to the western side, it's actually stayed pretty light, and that's been consistent with what we've been looking at fairly recently. Looking at the last few hours of accumulation has been pretty impressive further towards the south, but it hasn't been quite as much here. To look at the last 12 hours of rainfall, it's been come down a little bit in the southern counties that we have along the North Carolina border. But again, a lot of that heaviest rain, and it's been raining longer in parts of North Carolina, but it's not really making its way further towards the south. That's where we've got more of our flood warnings and flash flood warnings out there. Those last until 1 a.m. in some places. Ours mostly are going to last until 7:45 for that one flood advisory we have making it up over that Carolina border. And looking further down towards the south, even got a flash flood warning that goes until 6:15 for Georgetown County in South Carolina. So plenty of flooding along the coast there. We're not looking at nearly that same amount of accumulation coming through, although it will be strong enough to overrun some of those lower sitting spots. We do have trouble getting around, especially if you're looking to go further towards the east through today and even to tomorrow because of the wind that we have. So that's mainly our risk right now. Some power outages are also possible with the wind that we're going to have. Flood risk is here today. Snow risk is there tomorrow. It's not for many of us, but it's definitely there enough. And spots up towards Snowshoe, we want you to make sure that you know about that snow headed your way. Through the evening, our rain is actually going to keep on moving towards the north and east, start to ease off. After 10, there's not a whole lot left over. After midnight, most of us are dry. Going into Monday morning, though, we're still enough moisture combining with colder air coming from the northwest to turn into some snow in West Virginia. So parts of those western slopes in Pocahontas and Greenbrier get some snowfall. It can get a little further towards the south and east, and I think parts of the NRV get snow, but it's not going to stack up too well. Our temperatures are still pretty high above the freezing point. Even as we get towards 8 p.m. when we start to cool, that snow will start to ease off. We don't have a whole lot accumulating, but because it's so consistent during the day, we could get up towards 1 or 2 inches up there. As far as rain goes, we're getting 1 to 2 inches of that from Roanoke towards the east. Some spots in Southside even getting up towards 3 inches. But as you go further and further towards the west, just because this system's staying closer to the coast, it's been harder for those accumulations to build. But a lot of these spots that get 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 inches of rain are going to get some of our more noticeable snow on Monday. As soon as this rain finishes up, wind gusts really start to pick up. They are directed from the northwest since the low pressure kind of moves out of the way. It lets the next system move its way in. That'll have gusts up towards 40 miles per hour even before sunrise, and they stay between 30 and 40 during a lot of the day. So not only do we have a wind advisory through most of our region in that lighter brown color, but we also have a high wind warning from Roanoke County down towards Grayson. So Floyd's included in that. Carroll, Grayson, Roanoke, Salem, and Roanoke City are both included in that. Winds won't be quite as bad in Southside or in Pocahontas and Greenbrier County, which is good because that's where our highest snow totals are going to be. And let alone, without that, we've got some winter weather advisories and even a winter storm warning for us on those western slopes. Again, going to see some wind there. It might not be quite as high as it is further towards the south, but enough to combine with the snowfall that we could get some blowing snow and limited a little bit of visibility, as well as a winter weather advisory in Grayson County. Some snow stacking up there on the western edge. It doesn't look like it's going to be as impressive as it is further towards the north and west in Ohio or West Virginia, but a few tenths of an inch are possible, especially up towards White Top. Like I was saying, western slopes getting most of that in Pocahontas and Greenbrier up into Highland County as well. Could get more than an inch up towards 2. I don't think 3 is going to be too likely for spots around Snowshoe, but definitely more snow than we've seen with most of our systems coming through this season. And we're still a few days left before we actually switch over into winter. So it's saying as rain isn't totally out of the norm. A lot of our temperatures tonight stay around 40 degrees. We're able to hold on to some heat because of our cloud cover, but on Monday, we can only warm up a little bit. This is pretty similar highs to what we've had, but it's mostly because we're holding on to heat and add a little bit of sunshine on. Blacksburg's at 45, Danville's at 50. Snow towards the north, wind all over with it highest from Roanoke down towards Grayson County. We keep on bringing in cold air with that wind, putting most of Tuesday's temperatures pretty well into the 30s, with some highs getting to the 40s from Red Oak East. Alta Vista is at 43. Meanwhile, Floyd and Whitfield are at 33, so there is a pretty big difference there. Temperatures are going to be at their coldest on Tuesday before starting to warm up. By the start of winter itself, we're actually pretty well above average again and staying dry from Tuesday well into the end of the week. Saturday has some clouds building up. Sunday has a few extra clouds, but I think any showers will hold off until Christmas Day itself. And with temperatures staying pretty well above 32 for most of us, it does look like it's going to stay more as rain than a lot of our last systems, both this week and last week, where we had some more significant snowfall. I'll check in and see if you have any questions. If not, hope you have a safe night both tonight and into tomorrow. So anything for us? All right, well, the high wind watch and warning, which I think right now we've just got the warning since a lot of the other spots are in the advisory. Will that extend further towards the northeast? I don't really think it will for right now. It does look like a lot of that is concentrated further towards the southwest. Now, all of us are going to have gusty winds, so try to bring in your trash can as soon as you can. If you have big inflatable decorations, either get them way down or bring them inside, something to make sure that they're not going to get blown away. Some lights could end up getting damaged because of this, but the main kind of threat that we're worried about with the wind is some branches breaking, some power outages. Probably won't be quite as much as like a big summer storm coming through, but it's still a possibility with winds getting this high. All right, anything else? All right, if this system was in the middle of summer, is that question. And if that were the case, it would probably have joined up with the front that was coming from the west, using some of that to turn into more of a hurricane, but we definitely don't have that kind of heat. So it's sort of a lesser intense version of that. Bringing moisture on shore is something that we tend to see as hurricanes kind of make their way up the coast. This isn't really coming from that direction, though. A lot of hurricanes will start off the coast of Africa and then move further towards the west. This one kind of is an amalgamation of several systems, and thankfully, since we are cooler, it's not quite as strong. All right, anything else? All right, looking for Bassett. It looks like all of us are going to get winds for tomorrow. Since the snow is staying so far towards the north, it doesn't look like there's a lot of accumulation with that one, but we are looking at quite a bit of wind all across the region. All right, next one. All right, looks like that's everything for now. So again, hope you have a pretty safe evening. Tomorrow, we're still going to hold on to some heat, but it's going to be windy, some snow to the north. And then on Tuesday, it's particularly cold. As we get closer to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, temperatures are going to warm up a little bit for the start of winter and then start to duck back down. Bye for now.